Hey Waffle Gang, I do hope you're well. My name is Mark and today we're checking out some more Reddit stories. And if you do love a Reddit story, why not consider hitting that like, subscribe, maybe that notification bell too. And let's crack on with today's first story. Much love, guys. Now today's first story comes from Super Bowl Throwaway 1 and says, I, 25 male, won 2 tickets to the Super Bowl. My girlfriend, 25 female, is very upset that I'm taking my brother, 31 male, and not her. A couple of days ago, I won a trivia contest and that gave me an all-expense paid trip for 2 to the Super Bowl. As you can imagine, I was so excited, but it's gotten to the point where I wish there was a way I could sell the package and forget about it. My brother and I were together and decided to try for the tickets from this local contest. I was the official contestant, but I actually ended up getting the answer I needed from my brother. From that point, I never even thought about who to take, since it was something we both did, and he ended up actually giving me the answer. Of course he was gonna go. I excitedly told my girlfriend, who didn't even know that I was trying, that I won tickets and I was going with my brother. She then got very upset that I'm not taking her. For the record, she is a football fan, so it's clear she would love to go. But my brother gave me the answer. How could he not go? My brother said he would understand if I take her and sees the problem that it is causing for me, and offered his ticket to her. I didn't even tell her he made this offer because I don't think that's the point. I think she's being selfish and putting a damper on the entire experience. I told her all this, but she's not backing down, and said that if you win a trip for 2, it should automatically go to your significant other. Maybe that's true if we're on a romantic getaway or cruise, but this is something my brother and I did together, and he's the reason I won. I think she is being selfish and she thinks I'm being inconsiderate of her. I don't know who is right or what to do. I wish I never won these tickets because no matter what happens, the entire experience has been marred. I thought of giving the tickets to my brother and his wife and just forgetting about the whole thing, but because I won the tickets under my name, it has to be me. How should I handle this? Now, I know the Super Bowl is a huge thing in the US. If I'm being totally honest, I've only really noticed it the last few years. Is becoming more popular in the UK. Whereas I've always known about it before, but I think American football in itself is becoming more popular now in the UK. And I'm trying to picture it from the girlfriend's perspective as well. And I'm kind of comparing it to something like soccer or football, which I really follow, and a big cup match. And I could see how she, if she follows it, of course, would be, maybe a bit disappointed, maybe a little bit jealous as well. But the fact that you and your brother won them, and I can see myself in the girlfriend's shoes and saying, you go, have a good time, all this kind of stuff. And he's the reason that you did win those tickets. He gave you the answer. It'd be ridiculous not to take him. In my eyes, that's his ticket. Pretty Dirt Murder says you didn't win the tickets. You and your brother won the tickets. The other ticket is his, not yours to do with. Tell her that. Opie says, I wish I had said this when I told her, but I didn't think it would be an issue. I don't think I could reframe it at this point without her seeing through it. She already knows the story. Commenter replies to that saying, what's there to see through? Give her the play-by-play. This was pertinent information from the beginning. Being thorough means she gets to know all the information and gets to a well-informed analysis of the situation. Knowledge is power. OP says, she knew from the start my brother gave me the answer. She knows we did it together. She knows I already invited my brother. She also knows that the tickets are under my name and that I could theoretically choose someone else, which is the window she needed to make a fuss about how it should be her. I don't think I could reason with someone who said, if your brother wanted to go, he should have won them himself. Inmeister says, I had almost this exact same situation, but not with a sporting event. Boyfriend and friend also won tickets to something I would have liked by doing something boyfriend and the friend did together. Yes, I was hurt. Yes, I felt pushed aside. I felt like he should want to share that event and those memories with me. And not a random guy friend he didn't even see that much. But what he said made a lot of sense. He said, it's not that I don't want to do this with you. Just that I do want to do it with him. Okay, couldn't say much about that. I mean, no, it's not a special event when he goes out without me, or pursues an interest I don't share, or even one I do, just that I'm not available at that time. But I don't see those times as rejection. He's not choosing whatever else say for me. He's not saying I'm getting a drink with Brian because I don't want to get a drink with you. He's simply saying I would like to spend some time with Brian. Could your girlfriend possibly be feeling rejected and doesn't quite get you can only take one person? And it's not that you don't want to take her. It was just your event with your brother. Another user says big football fan with a bigger football fan fiance here. That's tough because on the one hand, I know how much she would love to go. On the other hand, I didn't enter with her. Instead, I entered with a sibling. Someone in my case who I had known my entire life. Someone who worked with me to win the thing and who cares enough about me to offer to give up their spot for my sake. I know my fiance would jokingly give me a hard time about it for quite some time, but also understand. It sounds like your brother is the one being more reasonable. Let's face it, you're going to have your brother the rest of your life. You aren't locked into the other relationship. You did make a mistake in saying you won tickets and you were taking your brother, instead of saying my brother and I won tickets. But that's something you can at least correct after the fact. If you explain to your girlfriend that the two of you won the tickets together and you wouldn't feel right giving away your brother's ticket, she's still going to be upset. But she should calm down over time and understands as well. If not, that seems like a character issue on her part. So, OP did come back in with an update and says, thanks everyone for the advice. It was very helpful. This was a very stressful and long few days. I'm just glad there seems to be a resolution. I tried talking to my girlfriend and she was still clearly upset. I approached the conversation as many people said, keeping understanding that she was more disappointed than controlling and would come around. Unfortunately, she was being unreasonable. She said I could go, but that doing so would hurt her a great deal and that she would need some time to reevaluate things. I should have just ended things with her there, but I was so sick of these tickets by this point that I didn't even have the heart to go, even if I did decide to end things with her. As suggested by some of the comments here. I called up the radio station and asked if it was at all possible to transfer the tickets to my brother so he could go with his wife. They were totally understanding and awesome about it and said they were sorry I couldn't go, but they were glad to put the tickets in my brother's name for me. I was just glad to have it behind me at that point. I told my girlfriend what I did and that I was staying here, and she said I was being dramatic and immature. She said that I transferred the tickets to my brother just so I could win the argument and look like a martyr. It was at this point I reached my breaking point. I calmly told her this relationship was over. I wasn't even mad at this point, just confused that a person I thought I knew could act this way. She said she was going to break up with me because of the way I handled this anyway, so breaking up with her didn't matter. My brother immediately told me I dodged a bullet and glad that she was out of everyone's lives. My brother's wife was totally cool about me using her ticket and didn't even question it after I'm technically taking back my gift to her. They insisted that I go with my brother and it was their idea. So now I'm the guest of my original tickets that I won. Happy to say that I arrived in SF a few days ago and I'm having the time of my life. My girlfriend didn't unfollow me on social media and I'm posting as many pictures as I possibly can. Thanks everyone. Gee whiz. Yeah, I think like you was told, bullet dodged in that situation. I love the way that you was told that you're being immature about this. That's absolutely ridiculous. You're being told that you're immature and that you only transferred the ticket so you could win the argument, but then later comes in like, I was going to break up with you anyway, so you breaking up with me doesn't matter, therefore I win. Oh god. Whenever I hear of those radio station competitions now, I always get that. I heard a story on the radio about a radio station doing a competition where they was giving away a Toyota. The way that they pronounced it was Toyota, so like a Star Wars figure. The woman thought she won a car, turned up in this parking lot, and they gave her this toy. I mean, I'll be quite happy with a Star Wars toy, to be fair, but when you're expecting a new car, it's a bit of a kick in the nuts, right? I know where I'm going with this story anyway. Let's move on to another story. And this one's from Orange Cup 21 from the Am I the Arsehole and True Off My Chest subreddit. Does come on an update. It says, am I the arsehole for kicking out my boyfriend's ex? I, 36 female, and my boyfriend, 42 male, have been together for 7 years. We both have been married and divorced before, and like to be financially independent of each other, and keep things pretty separate. What's mine is mine and what's his is his. I am CF, and I googled and it just has career field, possibly. Let me know if that's something else. I've worked my way up in my field and I'm comfortable. My boyfriend doesn't earn what I do. He pays a lot of child support too and contributes, as he should, to all 5 of his kids' after school activities. So our deal between us is, I pay for all of our household bills, loans, food, and he looks after his kids and contributes what he can to our household. 5 years ago, I brought a home for us, and I even went as far as buying a home that would suit his kids so they would feel comfortable when they came to stay with us. This caused a lot of drama. His ex felt that I was trying to buy the children. And in her words, she only got the house to rub in how much better she thinks she is. I've always kept my distance from his ex. It was a messy divorce for them, which she blamed on me, even though I didn't meet my partner until they'd separated for nearly a year. She has a history of domestic violence to him, and my presence makes it worse. 18 months ago, I got a great job opportunity, which would mean we'd need to relocate 12 hours away from our current home. After discussions between boyfriend and I, and my boyfriend and his ex, we agreed that we would make the move for my job, and would rent my house to his ex for an incredible discounted rate with the agreement that this would be for 2 years. Recently, my work circumstances have changed and we have relocated back to our hometown again. My boyfriend and I have found a small rental in the meantime. But since coming home, his ex has become more aggressive, particularly with me. She has told my partner the children have always hated me and were only nice because of him, but don't ever want to see me again. She has accused me of trying to buy the kids' love, making her look like a bad mother, and for basically being the root of all evil. Which is whatever to me. I do love the kids in my own way, but would hate to make them choose or feel uncomfortable by being around me. So we're making sure that my boyfriend spends as much time as possible with the kids and attends any sports or school events without me. And when I go away for work, they come to our house. I've suggested therapy or counseling, but the ex won't hear it, making it sound like I'm calling her a bad mother for suggesting it. The 2 years is ending and I want my house back. Basically, the ex is saying if I'm rich enough to pay for a rental and I'm paying a mortgage now, I should let her and the kids stay in the house. And since the kids now hate me, it'd be a waste of space for just my boyfriend and I. And this situation is also leading to kids telling my partner that they hate me even more for kicking them and their mother out of their home. My boyfriend is very torn. He just wants his kids safe and happy. So, some of the top comments with replies. So Queen Legolas says, OP, what are you getting out of this relationship, really? Because this isn't going to end. It will just get worse. Why are you financially supporting this guy who won't stand up for you? You claim he's working hard for both you and the kids, but it doesn't seem that way. He's been letting his ex call all the shots in your relationship. Who are you in a relationship with? Him or his ex? You really don't need any of this. Once they're gone from your life, you'll feel a lot better. You're fighting a losing battle. Your boyfriend will never stand up for himself and call out his ex for his parental alienation and other things going on. Don't you deserve better than this? You earn a ton of money. Enjoy your life. Stop worrying about kids who will continue to hate you. Trust me, this is only going to get worse. She's teaching them to be entitled to things that aren't theirs, yet treat the person they owe like shit. Therapy won't help when their mum is whispering in their ears. Not the arsehole. The future looks pretty bleak with how things are going. They demand you for your money, for college, weddings, down payments for their homes, baby-related stuff like baby showers, baby products, fertility treatments, and whatever else, while treating you like crap every step of the way. And your boyfriend will cave under every demand. The ex will egg it all on. Kick them out, kick them all out, and be free of all of them. OP responds to that saying, a loving and healthy relationship. As above, there's lots of complexities in a relationship that can't fit into a post. But I can safely say that I have a whole and fulfilling relationship. Everything written above does come off as I finance everything, which isn't wrong, but I can, and that's a choice I have made. I have only one living family member and no children. So I'm happy to help out my partner. I agree with some of the comments here that it was a terrible idea to rent to her in the first place. And I was truly naive thinking it would be appreciated by her. And honestly, if I could kick myself, I absolutely would. Isn't retrospect amazing? Lol. After some deep discussions and thought, we'll be asking her to leave the house. We have a lease and agent in place, so they will handle that side of it. My boyfriend understands the fallout. I just feel like guilt towards the children. None of this is their fault. Gum66 says, not the arsehole, it's your house. Don't let her manipulate you just because you can afford it and she can't. Gives me the vibes of this lady I read in a magazine years ago. She won £1.4 million on the lottery, and people stole her car that she lent them because you can just buy a new one. Just because you can afford a different house doesn't mean you owe this woman your house. Give her a month's notice and you're going to have to accept it if the kids are angry. You can't control how they feel, and if they're going to be mad at you and not like you anyway, then that's up to them. They need to learn that they can't just walk all over people and get what they want, which is what their mother is clearly teaching them. I always find it incredibly sad when there's children involved. You know, I'm totally with these comments, don't get me wrong, but I always come back to about what kind of life are those kids going to have when they're being taught this kind of entitlement, being whispered in their ear about how this person's a bad person, when OP sounds like they do have the children's best interests at heart, trying to give them their own space when they go and stay at their house. Not considering all the ex's past behaviors, because there's obviously some dodgy stuff going on there. I can maybe understand, you know, the person being a bit, you know, insecure about it, that you can't provide as much as this new person in their children's lives is going to be providing for them. I can imagine some insecurity around that. But then to turn your children against them is absolutely awful. You're doing them no favors in the long term, and you're going to end up getting them kicked out from what sounded a comfortable living situation. But timely proposal says, not the arsehole. So you pay most of your household bills so your boyfriend can pay child support comfortably. You let the ex rent your house at a big discount. You don't go to events to keep the peace between your boyfriend and his kids and ex. Put your foot down now. You're bending backwards to please them, only for ex to continue treating you like dirt. It's not healthy for you to let your ex walk all over you, and it's a terrible example for the kids. Your boyfriend doesn't get a say. It's your house. Kick the ex out. And let me just jump back on my comment now. I'm not defending anything the kids are doing in this. I think it's absolutely wrong. I just think it's sad that they're being led this way. They're being pushed down this path of being disrespectful and just generally awful to OP. So OP did update the post and says, I've had some messages for an update on my original post, so if you're interested in the backstory, check out my profile. But ultimately, I wasn't the arsehole, I was the moron. After reading a lot of comments on my original post, I decided that while yes, I wanted my house back, I also didn't really love the idea of living in the house the nasty woman had lived in for longer than I. It didn't feel like my home anymore, and I really wanted my home to feel like my home. So I decided to sell. I spoke with my boyfriend and he was really non-committal on the situation, but said it was my decision. I gave the ex the option to stay in the home and I would sell it as an investment property with a tenant, or she could move out. She went with going absolutely batshit crazy and decided to out hers and my boyfriend's reignited emotional love affair. As it turns out, since my boyfriend and I have returned to our hometown, and I still have to leave town frequently for work, it had gotten close again. The ex sent me an arseload of screenshots of steamy messages and pictures and long-winded messages whinging about me, and that maybe I would just let them have the house if my boyfriend and I separated, since I wouldn't need all that space. I obviously confronted my boyfriend and he looked incredibly panicked, but admitted to all and said it was more of an emotional relationship that had not turned physical. And he was very, very sorry and embarrassed and was only leaning on her for comfort because I was away a lot. He also missed his kids and he felt emasculated by me a lot of the time. There are plenty of other reasons and excuses not worth mentioning. Needless to say, I am now single. I've kicked him and her out and placed the house on the market for sale and just put an offer on a cute little townhouse on the beach. I've downloaded Tinder tonight after a few wines and thought it would be a good time to let Reddit know that most of you were right on my original post. Life isn't great, but I'm sure it'll be again one day. An additional comment from OP which says, honestly, I'm a little bit emotional about how nice and supportive you're all being. I've been kicking myself stupid for the last few months about being so obtuse and people-pleasery about the whole situation. I'm sure those comments will come, but I can promise everyone, no one is more critical than myself right now. But I just had my first match on Tinder, so I'm hoping things are looking up. The commenter said he felt emasculated by you, but is completely okay and masculine when it comes to his batshit insane ex and baby mama. Well damn, hope he thinks it's worth it. Hope he said it was all about the money. All about the money. The main theme of the whingy messages was bloody money, because I earned more, had more disposable income, also didn't have 5 kids. But what they both failed to see is I work away 3 weeks a month for 12 hours a day to earn said money. Wise Entertainer says, I'm glad you got rid of the dead weight. Did you know where they ended up? Opie says, not a clue. I'm not sure if they're together or not. After I confronted him about it all, I told him he could have the rental and I would find elsewhere to live. I left my real estate agent to deal with his ex and told them some of the situation, and I didn't want to know anything other than when she was out of the house and when the house sold. So far I've been told she left the house mid-November. House went on the market mid-December. I've been staying willfully ignorant of their circumstances for my own sanity. Deary me. But now I'm going to turn this one to you guys. What do you guys make of this situation? Let us know your thoughts down in the comments below. Now, just a huge thank you from the bottom of my heart for getting involved in today's stories. Your love, your support, your time always means the absolute world to me. And hopefully, I'll see you in the next one. Take care and much love.